People try to control for their whole lifetimes and nothing changes. Shiva also has spoken about it. If one has to go beyond the limitations or beyond the compulsiveness that a certain type of accumulation creates within us, he has to transform his energies. When you look at your life, the way you live it, many times you would have noticed that you are ruled by compulsive emotions. Today you really want to be peaceful. Today it happens to be your wife's birthday, your husband's something. You really want to make sure nothing goes wrong. That's a day just the anger rules you, just comes out for no reason. So, these things people try to control for their whole lifetimes and nothing changes. The mechanics of the mind, the way the mind functions is just the way the karmic substance is. Because mind is just an accumulation. What kind of accumulation you have, that's how it functions. If one has to go beyond the limitations or beyond the compulsiveness that a certain type of accumulation creates within us, either one has to raise into a different level of awareness, consciousness, with which he can become free, or another way is he has to transform his energies. Raising to higher levels of consciousness generally is very deceptive. Everybody believes they're very high consciousness. If you put them to test then they'll fail miserably, because the nature of the mind is such, it can deceive you till the end. People believe they have changed many times, simply because their situations have become little more conducive, they have changed. If situations become extreme, again they're back to the same place. Yes, have you noticed this again and again? So transforming your energies is a more sure path, a more certain path, you're walking on solid ground. And all you need is a certain dedication and involvement in a certain practice. If one works sufficiently upon his energies, the right sense of understanding and guidance, if it is done, very easily one can get enlightened on the level of his energy. His energy will be enlightened. His consciousness might not have gone beyond, but his energies will be enlightened. This is something we have been doing with in close groups of people for a long time. Shiva also has spoken about it. When the spinal thread is touched, a light begins to glow in and around you. If you place the whole attention on the Sushumna Nadi, and if it is properly touched, then it becomes alive and it glows. Once it glows, slowly the energy will mature within a very short period of time, and energy will become enlightened. It glows. You have a glow of an enlightened being. This is easy to achieve, all you need is dedication, especially when I am around, this is very easy to do. If you just touch the spinal cord, it can just glow.
All right then. Hope, through Sadhguru, you got cleared that how important your spine is. So now proceeding forward, you remember Yogananda Paramahansa? He often urged his disciples that live in the self. It sounds wonderful, doesn't it? But exactly what does it mean and how in the world can we do it? So let's know about it. The only reason someone is an artist and someone isn't, why? That is of lack of attention. Someone can shoot straight and someone cannot. Why? Because of lack of attention. Why someone is a mystic and someone is not? It is only because of lack of attention. From the simplest to the highest thing, it is just the lack of attention. Basically, your balance depends on where your concentration is. Where is the center of reality? That's the key to the asana and to life. Now, as previously talked about Yogananda saying that live in the self. Do you know that to remain more in the self means to live more in the spine and at a point between the eyebrows? The yogi's awareness of the spinal energy must ever be directed upward. Most people always live at their periphery, that is, in their senses, rather than in the center in the spine. The senses help us to function in this world, but when they become the focus of their lives, as advertisers hope they will, our energy habitually moves outward away from the self rather than inward in the spine. Now, talking about spine, we all know that it is the primary channel for the life force in the body, which resides in the center of the body just in front of the vertebral column. Now, spiritually, spine is a critical medium for the subtle body as it is the cornerstone for all the spiritual development. It is considered a physical embodiment of the mythological mountain that is Meru, which is the center of all the physical, non-physical and ethereal worlds, just as the human spine is the axis of our individual and spiritual existence. Now it is said that the primordial energy of the universe resides dormant, coiled like a snake at the base of the spine in every human being, which is known as Kundalini. We all know this, right? So when awakened, it rises up through the spine, piercing the chakras that is located on our spine, raising our vibrations and carrying its full power to the way to the summit of our brains. And to enable this metaphysical feat, we need to have a straight spine. Yes, you got it right. We need to have a straight spine. And so, one should always stand and sit up straight, right? But why? Investigate, compare standing or sitting with a straight spine versus slumping. Stay in each position for several breaths, observing how the position affects your breath, your energy level, and your state of mind. Just notice that how when your spine is straight, it's easier for you to breathe. You feel more energetic and your mind is clearer and more alert than when you are slumped down. It is rightly said, a bent spine is the enemy of realization. In meditation, always hold your spine straight that the life force may flow through it unobstructed. Now here meditation does not only mean sitting in the mat. Every moment of your life is a meditation, is a sadhana. Just keep this in your mind. Your physical spine posture also affects the state of your mind. Do you know that? When the physical spine is bent, the flow of life force to the brain can be diminished, dulling your consciousness and ever bringing on negativity. A straight spine, on the other hand, leads to more energetic, positive attitude. That's why Yogananda used this to warn us that a bent spine is the enemy of self-realization. Yoga, in its simplest interpretation, is all about spine, and spinal strength comes from asana, that is posture, and pranayam, that is breath. So all forms of yoga, whether it is bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, hatha yoga, raj yoga or kundalini yoga, aim only for this union. It is said to happen when, by various practices, the dormant energy at the base of your spine called the kundalini is awakened and rises up through the central channel, our spinal column called Sushmana Nadi, to release us from the bondage of life and death, and to break all the illusions and merge into the universal truth. So when the ancients said this, that the body is our temple, and when Patanjali listed down the 8 steps of yoga, the goal was simply to help man to find the divinity within, because God literally is in our spine. And so, most potent ancient exercise that is really very transforming for his spine is doing Yoga Namaskar, which ultimately touches your spine to a very great extent. Now, I have already discussed about Yoga Namaskar in this video, and if you want, you can watch after this video. Also, in this video, I have talked in detail as to how spine is literally the axis of universe. That is, it connects you to the universal forces that was already known by our ancestors ever long before we knew anything. So this video will make you more deeply understand to what spine really is, and so I highly recommend you to watch this after this video. And at last, always remember that spirituality happens only because you paid attention to your life and you saw that you don't know where it begins and where it ends. You are going about it as if whatever you are doing is the be all and the end all of life. The moment you pay a little attention, you understand that this is not it. Yes, that this is not it. Now, the very first step of even thinking spiritual came to you only because of certain level of attention. If you pay a much more attention to everything, if you heighten your ability to be attentive, that could be used in miraculous ways. So just try out everything that comes in your way for being spiritual. That will test you in every moment, that whether you are becoming meditative or you are just talking spiritual. So now, ultimately winding up, hope you loved the video and found it meaningful. And if yes, do not forget to give it a like, share and subscribe. And also do not forget to watch these 2 videos. These are literally the life transforming videos. So, and now up to next. Stay safe, healthy, happy, and namaskaram.